So how can you build your career the right way without feeling like you're using people while doing it? So everybody's going to tell you to network. And I do think networking is important. I think that we should network and build relationships with people, build rapport with people, because at the end of the day, we are going to have to work with those people. May it be them helping us get to our next step, or because we work in the same industry, we just feel we're just going to see each other and we're going to work with one another. So I do think that building a network and networking with people is really important. But I think there are other things that you can do within your organization to advance. So one of the ways that I have been able to grow the way that I have at such a young age has been really because I take on any and everything that I can that isn't going to hinder my other roles and responsibilities in my job. But I see every new duty as an opportunity. Oftentimes when people get additional duties, they see it as, oh my God, this is one more thing I gotta do. And I have always looked at additional duties as opportunities. How can I take this additional duty and make it something that's going to be a transferable skill? May it be for another job within this organization or another job outside of the organization. So the first thing I would really recommend is that whatever you can get access to, whatever you can learn new outside of your day-to-day, take advantage of that. Don't take additional duties as just one more thing I gotta do. Oh my God, they've given me something else. Look at it as an opportunity. Take that additional duty and say, hey, how is this gonna benefit me later? How is learning this new process, learning this new thing gonna benefit me when it is time for me to grow beyond my current position? The second thing is asking for help and asking for professional development and seeing where your weaknesses are. I think that goes into doing a SWOT analysis on self, looking at what your strengths are, looking at what your weaknesses are, and then asking for professional development opportunities to either improve or fine-tune those things. Another thing is about putting yourself out there. It's one thing to put yourself out there and to network with individuals. It's another thing to put yourself out there to showcase, hey, I can do this. I know this. I'm someone that you would want to come to if you were working on this type of project or you were working on this type of thing. So one of the things that I recommend to people all the time is conference. Take a conference, for example. People go to conferences all the time. You go to conferences year long. You go to out of town, you go to conferences out of town, you go to conferences local. But generally we're going so that we can network, we can see people we haven't had the opportunity to see in a while, we can learn something while we're there, but we never showcase our skills. So one of the things that I always tell my staff and other people that I work with is that when you go to a conference, let's say you go to the same conference every year. Now for the most part, when you go to that conference every year, you're going to be hearing the same type of stuff because it's a set type of conference. They do the same type, they have a focus that they focus on every year. So for me, when you go that first year, your first year is about building relationships, networking, learning the organization or the particular people that are putting on that particular conference. But every year after that, if you go to that conference, you present at that conference. It's no longer about you going to just see what's going on or to network and talk to people. You can still do that, but the next time you go and every time you go after that, it's about showcasing who you are. It's about showcasing your professionalism. It's about showcasing your skill set. It's about showcasing what you could be doing for someone else. That allows you to network without actually networking. The other thing is to go to conferences that you don't generally go to and go to conferences that have nothing to do with your actual job. When you're in your actual job, you should think about what it is that you need to do to grow within that job. But if you have any aspirations to move beyond what you currently do and to grow up the ladder, you have to find ways to learn other things. Oftentimes we get stuck. If we're an accountant, we go to accounting workshops, conferences all the time. But if we're trying to learn how to be a senior level accountant or a vice president, you're not going to get everything that you may need at that particular conference, because being a vice president is not about doing accounting anymore. It's about how do you lead those individuals within your organization? How do you invoke change within your organization? You're not going to get all of that at an accounting conference. An accounting conference is going to talk to you about accounting. So I always recommend for people to think about what their aspirations are, think about the components of what you will need to learn based off of what that aspiration is, and then find other conferences or workshops that will expose you, one, to people that do those things, but two, the knowledge base that you would need in order to be able to transition into one of those roles.